Okay.
Okay, so what you need to understand here is this machine gets the aortic pressure from that little box
Right.
underneath. Okay, so so we call it the white box.
Okay.
So that little machine just gets the aortic pressure and wirelessly transmits that to the quantian.
Okay.
The way that little box gets the aortic pressure is you connect wherever brings the pressure from the patient. So your transducer, your heart line, you connect that to that little box, and then from that little box out and back into your hemosystem.
Which is here.
Yeah, so you basically disconnect your P1 port,
P1 goes in here.
connect to the adapter that goes into that box,
And then this.
and then the cable that comes out of the box,
Right.
goes back to the place where you disconnected P1 from.
Perfect. Okay.
See what I mean?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's actually, it says it there. So AO in is
Okay.
the aortic pressure going in the device, and AO out is the pressure going out of the
perfect.
device.
Awesome.
See how it says express PSIU there?
Yes.
So that's the power port.
Okay.
Your hemosystem doesn't supply enough power to make the box work, so it has
Okay.
to be plugged in as well.
And that's
so
up there.
Yeah, exactly. So if the light's not working,
Okay.
then you just have to push that back in a little bit,
Perfect.
right? It just has to be plugged in,
Perfect.
that's all.
Okay.
And I'm mentioning that because in a different room, that's not perfectly connected. Like it's
Yeah.
kind
Oh, it's kind of
precarious.
okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
of okay. Yeah. So that's the concept with that.
Okay.
Again, that just basically puts the information, puts the pressure as a wireless signal, and this is how you select the box that you're working with. So when you turn on the device, you'll ask you which lab are you in.
Right.
I label them in a way that's easy for you guys, it's like lab 3, lab 1. But if you see this number, that's the serial number of the box.
Okay.
So if you ever want to know like what's that number, it just basically identifies that box. You can also go by signal strength, right?
Okay.
Like look at that. It's almost like a phone. So this
Yeah.
one doesn't connect because it's far away, this one does. So when you click, you're just basically telling the system,
Talking
to that one, right?
Right.
When you go live and you're like ready to do a case, when you turn on the wire zeros and connects to the system wirelessly as well.
You should, when you're equalizing, I saw you equalized under FFR so you could see that PD reading.
Do you want to do a whole demo? We can do a full
Yeah,
demo.
please. That'd be great.
Sure.
Just do it really.
So I turned it on.
Right.
Okay, and we did cath lab.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
As login and password.
Right.
So I picked room 3. We're here. For this demo, I'm just gonna
Perfect.
take the demo room, so you don't have to do any of that.
Perfect.
So pick the room. This information is not going anywhere, so
Okay.
I'm just going to live and just check. I'm
Yes.
not adding any patient information, but you could if you wanted to.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the first screen that you see.
Right.
That pressure is basically whatever you're seeing at the hemosystem is just mirroring each other, right? Because it's the same information. Again, that's coming from there wirelessly, right? First step would be zeroing. So you've done that, right? You open to air.
Yes.
You actually have to watch the pressure go to 0.
Okay.
But just the time they take for you to like walk back, it's gonna be
Okay.
enough. It'll be a
You want it all.
straight red line there. You press 0, you'll say zeroing, 0, okay?
Okay.
Whoever is scrubbed in opens the wire, flushes the wire, sits it flat. It's all here. It's really easy. You press connect, they turn the wire on, and if you watch this box here, it will say searching, zeroing, connect, okay. So say searching, zeroing, connect, okay. The zeroing part's important.
Okay.
So when the wire is turned on, it's zeroing itself. Meaning if it's turned off and it has to be turned on again, the handle of the wire, it has to be outside of the patient.
Okay.
Because if it's inside of the patient, it will try to zero itself, but it will be feeling pulsatile pressure. So it gives you an error message and it doesn't work, okay?
Sorry guys, I need
Yeah,
the
no, go
garbage
ahead.
behind you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so at this point, you can just tell the physician, we're ready. Next step would be equalizing. They'll know, they've been doing FFR for years, right? So then they'll take the wire out of the loop, put it inside of the patient, proceed to the position to equalize. Then I would just ask them, whenever we're ready to equalize, just let me know. When you press equalize, again, the system forces the curves to be the same. Because basically when you're equalizing, the transducer in your wire is feeling the same pressure as your aortic pressure, right? So you're just telling the system, if you're not feeling this is the same, you should be.
Okay.
And you're just making it into one. So the curves go on top of each other, and then that's one. Then you're ready. Then you can tell them, yeah, like PressureWire down the lesion. Let's go. It defaults to FFR. Okay. So if you want to do FFR, you can just do it. If you want to do RFR, you just go on this menu and you pick RFR.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna touch anything in the system because that triggers the demo. So take a look. This is simulating now that the physician is going with the wire down a vessel through a lesion. So you see that the RFR value starts to go down and down. I know that this goes to 0.64, so I'm gonna click when that gets to that. In any way, I told you guys, watch the line, because sometimes if you just put the wire there and press right away, you see that there's a trend, like a clear trend of going up or down. So I would just wait and wait for a nice flat area, and then you press anywhere in the box, okay? See what I mean? So it was going a little up, and then you don't know if that value is accurate, right? You just have to wait a little bit, be a little patient. Okay, so see, it's 5 heartbeats. That's the measurement. So it takes 5 heartbeats. It looks for the biggest separation between PD and PA in each heartbeat, averages them out, and that's your measurement. Okay? Don't let people just look at the box in the live view as it goes. That's not RFR. The RFR is actually the average of the 5.
Beats.
Okay? Press anywhere in the box. To do the pullback, you saw that. Just press pullback. Tell the physician to pull back slowly, and you'll plot the graph, right? There's one extra feature that we didn't use. If they have, let's say, 2 lesions, and they want to kind of know how the pressure changes as they pass through each specific lesion, you can actually mark the curve.
Okay.
It's a simpler way to do co-registration, right? Because we don't have the angiogram here, but you can still mark. So I'll show you. Right there.
Okay.
So let's say you go, I'm passing through a lesion, and then you can just
Mark it.
mark.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Broxville LED, put on a second mark, and then you
Okay.
can mark. And then when you're done, you kind of know where you were at that moment.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so that's RFR. So let's say they finished. When you're back, so when they're back to the same place that they equalized, and they want to check for drift, don't let them check for drift in the RFR screen.
Okay. Go back
This
to
is,
the.
yeah, so when this goes back to, and reason being, you might have PDPA of 1, but RFR will be 0.98
Okay.
or 0.99, 0.97.
Okay.
RFR is very sensitive. There's nothing wrong. It's just that RFR is always looking for any separation,
Okay.
right? It doesn't mean there's drift. So what you can do is either look at PDPA and see if they're the same, or you can go to FFR and look for the 1.
Perfect.
Okay?
Yeah, that's great.
For FFR itself, it's a little different, but it's pretty easy. So you would be here, right? Let's do FFR. This is again just to start the demo. Give the adenosine, give a little flush. Then you watch the line, and when you see that the line's trending down, meaning the hyperemia is happening, right? You just press record. And then the system will record from that point until you tell it to stop. So you just watch the line, because you don't want to miss maximal hyperemia, right? That's the point of recording rather than just getting a segment. You record all the way until the pressure starts recovering, because then you know that you've, whatever it is that was the maximal hyperemia of that adenosine injection, you caught that moment. So I would just be watching this, and then now I see it's trending up. I can stop. So see, down then up, right? And the system just takes that whole segment and gives you the smallest PDPA.
Right.
And he calls it FFR. let's say you recorded, but you had like a flush of saline or artifact or extra systole something, and you have it's actually like a 0.31, like a crazy value that doesn't make any sense. You don't have to take it. You can just go to a different place. So you can drag.
And you can move this back and forth and find like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Anywhere, yeah.
Okay.
So like, if you have like a bunch of artifacts that you recorded by mistake, let's say, and you would be here, like a 0.12, you can just go here and it's basically.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's great.
Yep. Any questions?
No, that's perfect.